Hey there YouTube, welcome to Showcase Watches. Today bringing you a video about Rolex and the prediction for September 1st, 2020. Now, as many people in the watch hobby know, Rolex are due to release some watches September 1st, 2020. And this is a quick video to discuss what Rolex are going to do, what's going to be released, what's going to be discontinued, and the basic strategy that I believe is going to happen come September 1st. Now, many of you will have already seen many videos out on YouTube telling us what's going to be released, what's going to be discontinued, etc, etc. Truth is, nobody knows. Anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen is lying. Not even the authorised dealers know what's going to happen with Rolex. Rolex play cards very close to the chest. They don't leak information to the authorised dealers. They don't leak information to anybody. So anybody who tells you they've got inside knowledge is probably lying. Now, my video here is simply a prediction. It's in my opinion what is going to happen. It's by no means a factual video. However, I did call it when I predicted the Tudor releases. I did get that correct when I predicted the Black Bay 58 Blue was coming out. I did predict that one and that was correct. And so today I thought I'll do a quick video with my prediction for Rolex and what I think is going to happen with the brand come September 1st, 2020. And in simple terms, it's going to be disappointing. It's going to be a bit of a come down. People are getting really excited about what Rolex are going to do, new watches that are going to be released, Rolex models that are going to get discontinued, etc. And the truth is, I honestly think it's going to be underwhelming. And the reason I say that is because of COVID-19. You know, the big thing of 2020 is COVID-19. It has created havoc throughout the world. It's created havoc throughout every industry. It's an unpredictable market at the moment. Yes, currently watches are selling. The market is up. Pre-owned watches are at an all-time high. The authorised dealers are selling watches faster than they can stock them. It's all looking good. But, unemployment is going higher and higher on a daily basis. Something's going to give at some point, and Rolex know this, and they're not going to start gambling at this point in the game, and that's why Tudor only released one watch in 2020. They released, again, slightly underwhelming, they released the Black Bay 58 Blue. Rolex are no different. I cannot see Rolex releasing anything major. What my prediction of Rolex is going to be is I believe they're going to discontinue the current Submariner range, and they're going to shrink the case down. So they're going to keep it 40mm, but they're going to do away with the maxi case. I believe that, or the super case. They're going to do away with the super case, and they're going to slim it down slightly. Now, in the video here, you can see I've got the Rolex GMT Master 2 Batman and the Rolex Submariner, both in ceramic and both in the super case. Now, the super case has already been discontinued with the GMT line. The GMT Batman has already been discontinued in exchange for the Batgirl. Now, the GMT Batgirl has a slightly slimmer case, as does the Pepsi on Jubilee, the current Pepsi on Jubilee. And I think Rolex is going to do the exact same thing with the Submariner. The Submariner is going to go into a slightly slimmed down case. It's still going to measure 40mm. It's still going to be ceramic. It's still going to be all the details that we know and love about the current Submariner. It's just they're going to slim the lugs down slightly, and they're going to make the watch, the proportions of the watch, it's going to wear bigger than a pre-ceramic, but it's going to wear smaller than the super case. As they did with the Pepsi and as they did with the Batgirl. They've already done it on other super case models. They're going to do it the same now. And the other thing they're going to do to the Submariner is they're going to put the 70-hour power reserve in. Now, none of this that I'm telling you is breaking news. None of this has been predicted to death. Pretty much every YouTube channel who's given their prediction have all said exactly the same thing on the Submariner. So I think it'd be very, very, very surprising if Rolex did not do this to the Submariner. So the model that you see in this video here will soon be discontinued. I believe they'll discontinue the Hulk. So I think the Hulk will be discontinued. I don't think they will resize the case on that one. I mean, they can, because the bezel will be no different, the dial will be no different. I don't think it'd be any extra work for Rolex to continue making the Hulk in a new case size with a new movement. For them, making the Hulk is no different to making the black version. It's the same. It's the same size bezel. It's the same size dial. I can't see there being any issue. It might be that Rolex will continue making the Hulk, but in the new case size, it will definitely have a new movement, definitely have a new case size. The super case is disappearing, and I don't think Rolex will continue with the super case. I think they will do away with it completely. In regards to the rest of the lineup from Rolex, I don't think they'll touch it. I don't think they'll discontinue anything, and I don't think they're going to release anything new. I think that Rolex they're going to fiddle with the Submariner, and that is about it. They are due to change the Submariner. The Submariner, in its current form, has been around for nearly a decade. It's time it got fiddled with. It's time that it had some work. They've already tackled the GMT line. They won't touch the Explorer line yet until next year, because obviously the anniversary year. So the Explorer line won't get touched. The GMT line won't get touched. I believe if COVID-19 hadn't have been here, there would have been more. I believe Tudor would have done more, and I believe Tudor already has more in the back. I believe Tudor already have more available. They just haven't released it due to COVID-19. And I think the same can be said for Rolex. When I say that, what I mean is I believe Rolex have on their somewhere in the safe, somewhere in the back of Rolex, they have got the GMT on a Oyster bracelet. And the one I think they will do is I think they will bring the GMT Coke, the Coke bezel, out on a Oyster bracelet. Currently, you can only buy a Rolex GMT on on Jubilee in stainless steel. You can only buy the Oyster bracelet on white gold or platinum. You cannot buy it on stainless steel anymore, which is why the GMT Batman and the Black has been a bit more of a popular choice. The price of those have soared due to them being the only stainless steel GMTs on an Oyster bracelet. So what I think Rolex are going to do is I think Rolex want to release a new GMT model, and I think it will be the black and red, the Coke bezel. I believe they're going to release that watch on a Oyster bracelet. I believe it might be for 2021. I don't think they'll release it this year because of COVID-19. I think it'll be for 2021. So my prediction is that Rolex will do nothing apart from fiddle around with the Submariner. They will discontinue the current models. They will move them all into a smaller or a trimmed down case. It will still be the super case, but it'll be trimmed down. It won't be wear as big as the current model, because there's been a lot of criticism from the collectors about the current case sizes. They all feel that the case sizes are a little bit on the larger side. Me personally, I'm somewhere in the middle. I quite like the pre-ceramic cases. I think they wear really nice, but I do like the wrist presence of a super case. So I'm a little bit in the middle, which I think a lot of Rolex fans are exactly the same, and that's why I think this new case size is going to be a home run, because people do find the pre-ceramic a little bit small for the modern era, but I think they find the current super case a little bit too big. And I think something in the middle is going to be an absolute home run from Rolex. It's happened with the Batgirl, it's happened with the GMT Pepsi, and I think they'll do it with the Submariner. I think it goes without saying, but I don't think they'll do anything else. Now, one of the most common questions is September 1st. Is September 1st going to be, if anybody's got on the waiting list for a Submariner, does it mean that the slate's going to be wiped clean? And if you go in on September 1st and put your name down for a Submariner, you'll be number one in line. The answer to that is no. What will happen is the people who have been on the waiting list for the Submariner in its current form, that waiting list will just transfer over to the next watch. I don't think a new model will just erase a wait list and a new wait list will start. The waiting list will transfer over from one model to the next. They've done it before with other models, they'll do it again. A lot of people are getting really excited, thinking that they can turn up to the authorised dealer on September 1st, walk in, and they will purchase a watch off the shelf. That's never going to happen. It won't happen. Rolex won't let it happen. It just won't. I mean, it did happen with Tudor. If you went on July 1st, you could pick up a Tudor Black Bay Blue. They did have some demos in the shops, and they did have a couple of models to let people buy, but again, they were sold to preferred customers. They weren't that easy to get hold of, and now they're nearly impossible to get hold of. The same thing, or a similar thing, is going to happen with Rolex. I think that Rolex will probably allow shops, ADs, to have a demo model in, but I don't think that demo model will be for sale. That will be if they are lucky. Personally, I don't think there'll be any stock, period. I don't think there will be demo models. It's a possibility. I don't think there will be. I think the case is going to be there's just going to be no stock of the watch, period. Rolex don't carry demo models as a rule. If you go into your Rolex authorised dealer and ask to try on a GMT or ask to try on a Submariner, chances are they don't have one to show you, and if they do, it's probably already pre-sold to a customer. So, yeah, I would say to people, don't get excited about September 1st. Most YouTube videos that I've seen are telling us that if you go into an authorised dealer's on September 1st, you're going to be able to buy a watch. To keep a look on the website, on Rolex website, when you see the new watch launched, call the AD up the following morning, put your name on the waiting list, and you'll be number one in line. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the previous lists are going to carry over from the previous model onto the new model. Yeah, and so I think in short, what's going to happen is very little, and I think anybody wanting a stainless steel sports Rolex is still going to be in a wait list for years and probably never get one, and the only way to buy one is going to be on the grey market. That's my prediction. That's what I think is going to be the case. And it wouldn't be a surprise in the slightest. It's, at the end of the day, we're talking about Rolex. This is what the brand is. In 2020, that is what the brand is. 2015, it wasn't like this in the slightest. You could buy them out the window. That was easy. You could go into an authorised dealers and buy a Hulk. You could go into an authorised dealers and buy a Batman. You could buy a Submariner. You could buy what you wanted. 5 years on, look at where we are. There is wait lists a mile long for stainless steel models. It's it's the era that we're in. It's the day that we're in, and the consumer has made this. We have made this hype, and Rolex has just played to it. So it's been a perfect strategy from Rolex that we've all fallen into, and I think the damage is done, and I cannot see it ever going back to what it used to be. But yeah, so there's my prediction. I don't think a great deal is going to happen. I think they're going to mess around with the Submariner line. I don't think you're going to be able to get a brand new one on September 1st, 2020, unless you are a very, very VIP customer. I think the wait lists from the previous model are going to carry over. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people very disappointed because we all live in this world where Rolex seems to create magic for so many people. And they get so excited. Rolex must be like Disneyland to so many people that there's some magic happening there that everybody wants to buy in on. The truth of the matter is, Rolex is a business. It's there to make money, and those of us who track the market and look at what Rolex do know that they're not that kind. They're not that nice as to release more Rolexes than people want. Wouldn't it be lovely if Rolex, for 2020, September 1st, 2020, released one Submariner to every two consumers? Wouldn't that be lovely? But they'll never do that. They'll never do that. And I don't blame them in the slightest. I do not blame them. I'm in business myself, and what Rolex are doing makes complete business sense. I do not blame them in the slightest. It's just anyone like myself or any of you guys who are on waiting lists with their authorised dealers who can't get the watches they want. At the end of the day, it's just sour grapes. We have to pay the grey market prices if we want the pieces today, or we can go on the wait list long term and hope we get one. It depends what type of person you are. Me personally, at the moment, I'm done with the Rolex collecting. The three that you see in the video are the ones that I own and part of my own collection. So I've got my Submariner, I've got my Batman, and I've got my 1980s GMT Master 16750. So for me, Rolex is covered. I've got my Rolex bases covered. I'm happy. So whatever they release on September 1st doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I wanted to do a video for you guys just to give my opinion on what's going to happen. It is not factual. It is just based on opinion only. I would really love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Tell me what you guys think is going to happen. Do you think there's going to be different models? I would love for them to release loads of new models, because at the end of the day, it will be more watches entering the hobby. It'll be more people getting interested in the hobby. It'll be more YouTube videos for me and other YouTubers to make. I hope that we get loads of watches. I just think that COVID-19, the COVID virus, the coronavirus, has just caused so much upset throughout the world. I can't see Rolex doing anything groundbreaking. I think they're going to fiddle with the Rolex Submariner, and that's it. I don't think they're going to discontinue anything. If they do discontinue anything, it could be the Hulk. If they're going to discontinue any watch, that's been rumored to be discontinued for 2 years. This might be the year they're going to discontinue it, but who knows. So thanks for watching. I hope this stirs a bit of a debate in the chat, in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Please check out my other videos. All these 3 watches in the video have been reviewed, so check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you liked the content. And yeah, in a few weeks' time, we'll see if I'm right or not. September 1st, 2020 will be the release, and we will see if my prediction is correct or if it is a load of BS. So thank you for watching. This is Showcase Watches, and I'll catch you in the next vid.